What's up, beauties? Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you an extension Wholy Sewn install that I'm going to be doing a little bit different placement than your typical placement you're used to seeing. And so I'm going to be placing this on shorter hair. She has shoulder length hair, and we're adding these extensions for fullness. So I'm doing 2 hand-tied wefts in her hair, and I'm going to be sewing them in just on the sides of her hair. So this is a great placement for many reasons. It's great for clients who just need extensions on the sides. It's also great if you have a client that wants to wear their hair in pigtail braids. You can't do that with your typical horseshoe section that goes all the way around their hair. So I'm going to be showing you how versatile my Wholy Sewn method is and how you can install it anywhere on the head. You can place it virtually anywhere. Stay tuned for the rest of this video if you're interested in seeing some different type placement with my Wholy Sewn extension method.
Let's go, let's lead, let's hit, let's go. Holy hit, let's go, let's go, let's go.
I'm going to be adding some fullness to my client's hair today. As you can see, she has short hair. I've gotten tons of requests to do a video of installing extensions on short hair. We are going to be adding 2 hand-tied wefts on her hair today, and I'm going to do 1 on each side of her hair. So the placement is going to be a little bit different than your typical placement. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to place these wefts to give her an overall more fuller look. So stay tuned for the rest of this video to see her placement. So if you're unsure about placement, one of the things that I recommend doing is clipping in your weft where you think you want it before you actually install it or start your bead foundation. So that's what I'm going to do right here. I'm actually just going to clip this weft in with a couple pin curl clips. And then I'm going to let her hair down, and we're going to see if this is where we want this weft to live. Obviously, it's too long right now. We're going to cut it, but it's getting rowdy. This is pretty.
Yes, very pretty. Look like Rapunzel.
Yeah, you do. I know. What if we went this long?
Yeah. I think my family would be shocked. It is amazing.
Your family would be shocked.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is actually perfect placement right here. So I'm going to pin this up, and I'm going to get going on her bead foundation. So before I start the bead foundation, I always like to mark where I'm going to start and end this. So like I said, I'm using 2 hand-tied wefts for this install, but I'm going to be folding the hand-tied weft in half because we don't want this to be as wide as the full hand-tied weft row. So I'm folding it in half. And so show a little close-up. This is where we're going to be installing this. So it's going to be on a little bit of a curve here, kind of like a little half moon. And I'm going to install it about 1 inch from her hairline, but her hair really flows forward on her head shape. So we want to always take into account everyone's head shape and how it lays on their hairline. So we're going to do it just like this in like a little moon shape on her hairline here. And she parts her hair right here on the side. So we want to make sure that we're getting her part lined up and making sure we're going to line everything up to where we have enough hair to cover the wefts on her part. So I'm going to mark these ends here with my pin curl clip. So we're going to end it right here on this side. Actually, I'm going to mark it up here. So we're going to end it right here on this side, and then we're going to start it right here. And this is the first time we're doing extensions on her hair, and we are just adding extensions today for fullness, not length. Look how cute this bead looper is. I'm obsessed. So cute. So we've got our first bead here, and I'm going to continue all the way down and meet our other clip here. All right, those don't feel too tight, do they?
Mm-mm.
So we've got one side all done, and she's all filled in on this side. And here's her weft underneath here. You can barely even see it. So pretty. It just gives her so much more fullness over here. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and the other side of her hair is a little more finer. So this is the side where we really wanted to add the extensions. I'm gonna section her out, and this side is a little bit finer, so we definitely wanna make sure that we're not able to see the weft. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on the first time, and I'm gonna clip in the wefts and part her hair down to make sure that we're not gonna be able to see the weft. So I'm gonna clip up this hair, and I'm gonna clip the weft in where I think we want to place it. And I might have to go a little bit lower, but I'm gonna see. So I'm gonna clip this in just with a couple pin curl clips. And then I'm gonna clip down her natural hair. And that to me does seem like I wanna go a little bit lower. So I'm gonna clip this back up. And I'm kind of taking a little bit of a horseshoe section, so I'm taking it, I'm kind of going from the top of her part here and scooping my way down so that we have a little bit of a curve, because we want to be up higher, closer to her face, but down lower when we come to the back because of the cowlicks on the back of her head. Everyone has cowlicks, you always want to be mindful to go low enough where the cowlicks are. Alright, so I'm going to pin this right here and see if this is a little more, this is a better location for us. Part this down. And it looks like back here she does have a cowlick here. So as we can see, I have this pinned in, but see her cowlick split right here? That's gonna be a little bit of an issue. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go a lot lower back here, and so we're gonna be under that cowlick. So let me repart her again. I'm not gonna go any lower in the front because the front actually looks really good, and we want it to be close around the front of her face, but back here she's got this cowlick, so I'm going to readjust that one area here. And you want to be really thorough and really precise with your placement, because this is going to live in your client's hair for a good amount of time. And so we don't want to have your client be self-conscious of someone seeing their extensions out in public, and we just don't want them to have to worry about their extensions showing. So we want to be good about the placement. Okay, so I'm taking about probably 3/4 of an inch back here of hair, and I'm going to pin this up, and I'm going to pin this back down here, and we're just going to make sure that this is going to be low enough for our weft here, so we can cover up where the cowlick is. So I'm going to part her hair down again, and that looks perfect. Let me show you what this looks like. So see how we cannot see that weft, this cowlick right here that she has? If our clients sleep on their hair, or if they have second day hair, a little bit greasy, a little oily, these cowlicks can split so much easier. So we want to make sure wherever we're placing our extensions, we are at least an inch below the cowlick. So as you can see, as I move her hair, I am about an inch below her cowlick here. So that gives us enough room to be able to cover her extension. And obviously right now it's kind of puffed out, but once we sew that in, it's gonna lay completely flat, so we won't be able to see the extension weft. So now that we got her weft placed exactly where we want it, I'm gonna pin up this hair up here and get it out of the way. And since she does have fine hair and a little bit of flyaways, I can always grab my spray bottle of water and mist her hair so that it stays in place.
I do have flyaways.
Alright, so I'm gonna mark my section from start to finish with my pin curl clips, so that I know where I'm going to start and finish her weft. And I'm just going to clean up this line just slightly here, since we have repositioned it a couple times. Okay. Whenever you're doing your bead foundation, if about halfway through you want to make sure you're still on track with the placement of this, you can always grab your weft in the middle of doing your bead foundation, line it up again, and make sure your distance is correct. Okay, so I have this side all beaded, and the nice thing about my Wholy Sewn method is this can be installed anywhere on the head. So in this method, I'm doing it just on the sides, which is actually really great for someone if they have long hair and they want to wear their hair in braids and kind of split the back down the middle. You can do this type of method that way, which is so versatile for your clients, and it's so good to have options. So I've got her foundation all set, and I'm gonna go ahead and pin her weft in place, and we're just using one hand-tied weft for this, and I'm gonna pin this right here on top of our foundation. And I'm gonna get her all sewn in, and I'll show you what her hair looks like after. Moving on to the final step here, I'm going to do her haircut. So as we can see, this length is way too long, so we're going to go ahead and cut her length, and I'm pressing my comb up against her head just like that so that I can make sure I'm not going to cut this length too short. Cutting extensions is a little different than cutting regular hair. You want to make sure when you're establishing the length to push it softly up against their head so that you can create that perfect line. If you hold it down and tight like you would a regular haircut, you're probably going to cut too much off. So I'm not holding it when I'm establishing the length right there. I'm just kind of pressing it up against her head so that we get a nice softness, and then I can go back through and clean up that line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to point cut the ends a little bit just to make sure we make this look really natural. She wants it to look like a very full blunt cut, but we also want to make sure we soften those lines, and so it is believable that she does not have extensions, that this is her natural hair. So that's why I'm going to go through and soften up those lines and make it look really nice and natural so that it lays perfectly. And then around her face frame, I'm going to make sure to kind of do the same thing, but I'm also going to do a little bit of slice cutting around her face frame just to make sure it's not too blunt and too long around her face. We just want to soften that line just slightly. I'm not doing a ton here. I'm just kind of slicing through a few sections around that face frame to make it believable, and then just softening that line here. And I'm not doing too much with this haircut, kind of keeping it natural, keeping it blunt, and keeping it full. Less is more when you're cutting extensions. You can always go back and cut more off if you need to, but the hair is not going to grow back with the extensions, so you want to be conservative with your cut. So after I finish this up, I'm going to get her all styled and you can see her finished results. I hope you beauties enjoyed this video and you saw how versatile my Wholy Sewn extension method is. Like I said in previous videos, I have not released all the details to this method, but it is coming very, very soon. So leave me a comment if you are interested in learning my Wholy Sewn extension method. I will comment back on how you can be the first to know about how to learn my extension method. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will see you beauties in my next video, and enjoy these before and afters side by side so you can see how gorgeous and what a big difference hand-tied sew-in extensions can make for your clients. Thanks for watching.
Let's go, let's lead, let's hit, let's go. Holy hair, let's go, let's go, let's go.